the stream should be changing. Might do just increase the bandwidth. You can hear me in a minute. I'll just start my webcam for a little second so you actually see what it's looking like. So if I do click on start change, so I thought I'd get an iMoot logo in the background on top of a monopod, and this is an original iMoot 2010 t-shirt. Sort of like it's weird looking at people like this. Okay, this might sort of do your bandwidth in something correct, so I'm going to just turn it off. Okay. Right, welcome to the presentation about collapse topics. Okay, move across the agenda. I'm going to cover sort of introduction, why I identified it, what was needed, and the sort of history behind it. And then I'm going to go a little bit technical and do sort of an installation, short about then configuring, and that configuration can be done not necessarily as you as an admin type person, but just even as a teacher if you're a bit within the course and you'll change it. Really quite straightforward. I'll cover the default configuration where you can set up so it will apply to all of your collapse topics based courses. I'll talk about the development of it, how I made it, the challenges I had in the past, the challenges I still have with it. It's a very simple format, and yet it sort of takes a lot of my time and challenges to keep things going. I'll talk about where you can find help, not just for my format, but for sort of course formats in general, things in general to do with this sort of area. I chat about the future, where I see it going, where my understanding of where Moodle 2.3 is moving things in terms of the page formats and where I see my format within it and how things will change. I'm going to show you how to make your own course format, time permitting. Now, don't worry if that doesn't happen. I've already created a screencast with a YouTube link, which I'll share later on, which does the whole lot. It takes about 14 minutes. So even if you panic now, think, oh crumbs, haven't got that, not working, doesn't quite work, we've run out of time. Don't worry, it's there and it's on YouTube. Okay. Then I'll come with feedback. I've got some polls and sort of questions to do, and hopefully a bit of interactivity, so sort of show me your ideas. Okay. Let's move to introduction. So this is what collapse topic does. It collapses your sections. That's all it does. It's there to solve the old scroll of death. Well, think about it, and sort of scroll of death sounds something like the Romans would have. If they, instead of conquering Europe, bashing across Europe with the swords and their sort of catapults, if they had the scroll of death, they could have charged across the whole of Europe and completely conquered like flat. So it's really sort of annoying thing that can happen, that can cause you to scroll up and down and think, where was this, so forth. So created collapse topics. It has, hopefully, if this works, as a pointer. Oh yes. So the topics, you click on them, they open, the section opens, it closes. You refresh the page, it remembers it. At the moment that works on the sort of cookie functionality, which is sort of now in the UK and bits of Europe is now, ooh, evil. But I've put in a little bit of code recently to cope with that, and the fact that you can ask the user for their permission to use this cookie. Moodle 2.3 will move forward a little bit further on that. Okay. And so if I can see different bits and bobs, and it will go up to 52 sections. If heaven forbid you should have a course that long, I think Moodle 2.0 or beyond actually has more sections than that. I'm not actually sure my code will work with that. That's something I need to check. Okay, so that's what it looks like, and you can sort of configure it different bit of bobs like that. Okay, next. Right, so. Chat. Right, where it happened or where it came from. Real world classroom environment requirement, I should say. I was a teacher in a secondary school for some 7 long years, but before that I was a software engineer. Those of people who sort of know England and London and stuff, I worked for Transport for London for about 9 months and worked on the traffic light control system. So it was a little bit like Benny Hill in the IntelliJob, who knew all the stuff about how traffic lights work, and I could dial in and worked on that system. So I sort of spent lots of time, and before that did other bits and bobs in C, C++, and trained as a software engineer. So then I went into teaching. So I've got a whole sort of 2 hats on. or two bits of my mind. One thinks teaching, education, yes, brilliant, really morally good, educate the world. And the other thing is code, code, code. I'm in a room, I'm typing away, boom, 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 and so forth like that. So I was in the classroom one day and we had, thank you, Dan. As I just lose their class. I did lose my class. I love them to bits, actually. I had a 4 for 5 years. They were brilliant. I had so many presents. I didn't realize I couldn't get the stuff in the boot. Okay, so I was teaching one day and we had a course and it had loads and loads of modules. So instead of going down the meta courses to confuse the students, because meta courses might have confused students, might have made things worse, got them all crumbs, don't know where to find this, where to find this. And it was modular. So we decided to maybe sort of break it down into putting modules in each different section and stuff. And that was just getting bonkers because some students were doing module 4, some were doing module 2, some were doing module 1, and it was a pain. They didn't know which. So I thought, aha, I've got the ability. I'm a software engineer. I can do something about it. I can help them. I can make it work. Because like all good teachers, they want to do the best for their students. So read an article in, you can see there, .NET magazine, and hopefully if I start my webcam, disappear, there's the original sort of there, bought there. Read it by a gentleman called Craig Granell, something like that. It was in here. I thought, oh crumbs, because of copyright, can't do that. So emailed him, got his permission, say, can I reuse the code? He said, yes, aha, brilliant. So got all that. So I started to create it, made it really simple, didn't go near the database. I didn't know anything about PHP at the time, even though I'd coded in C, C++, Java, and all those sort of languages. Had never really done the sort of scripting element of Bash and things like that to Unix. So created it, made it really, really simple. Took a copy of the topics format and started hacking some of the HTML around and changing things and putting the extra bits of JavaScript. Did a dummy, did a trial, made it work. Okay, then just started evolving it, got feedback, put it out there, got people using it, tried it at school, and took feedback from my students, took feedback from people on the forum. And that's where it says at the moment. It's sort of evolving, and I mainly spend most of my time now maintaining it, maybe sort of improving it as really good ideas come along. Okay, next step, installation. Scary, but not really. Okay, I have spent a lot of time putting stuff on the README, so it's really read the README. Pointer, yeah, okay. If uncertain, try on a test installation first. You can just sort of download it. There's lots of WAMP. I think even for Macintosh, they're called a MAMP server. So sort of Apache, MySQL, PHP on a certain platform. Hence WAMP for Windows, LAMP for Linux, and stuff like that. Don't be scared about it. It only changes the presentation, not the data you ever had. So if you don't like it and you change it to back to topics format, it will work, or at least it should work and stuff. So it will be fine. It only changes what actually appears on the screen. It's a look. It's like, as I think it's Mary's on the list, like a theme in a weird way, but a theme within the theme. For that, for want of a better word. It's self-contained. It does come in different languages, and I'll come on to that in a bit later. Okay, so hopefully I'm just going to talk you through. Well, now at this point I won't be able to see the chats, and I'll put on the demonstration type screen like so. Oops, that's the wrong one. Just going to put it back to the slide that you need. Too far. Are you all still there? Nobody's chatting. Are you still there? Yes. Thank you, Lee. Yes, brilliant. Right, okay. It's a bit unconcerning. I thought about this earlier. It's a little bit like sort of talking to an answer phone, but actually it's actually a little bit interactive because there's people, real world people there. Thank you. Right, let's share screen. Okay, process of doing it. Do I often talk to myself, Lee? Yes, actually. Ironically, it's a good way to have sometimes it's a good way to have a conversation. Yeah, I'm not schizophrenic though. Thank you. Right, let's go back. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, Let's do whole of the desktop. Now I won't be able to see the chat while I'm doing this, so I've got a test Moodle running here. Now the first thing to do is to read the README. So let's find the right place in documents. I've already downloaded it from there, from the plugins database, my own sort of version from there. Download versions all the way from Moodle 1.9 all the way up to 2.2. There's a 2.3 in development. Okay, so read the README. So go to the documents, go to the top col folder. I've already extracted it, got top col there. If it's not called top col and it has a sort of silly name, you got it from the GitHub repository, just change it to top col. In there you'll find README. That has all the details, and that's what I'm going to go through now, not necessarily in this order, but the way it sort of should be done, because I'll talk in different bits and bobs. Okay, first thing, to put Moodle into the maintenance mode. If you've got users, really important, because it can sort of really confuse things. It's not necessarily essential, but this is sort of desirable. Pragmatically, if you're running on your own test Moodle, you don't need to do it, because there are no other users on the system but you. Okay, so back to... Yeah, so we're going to take that, copy that folder, and go to, you want to be in your course format folder, and you paste it in, like so. Oh, maintenance mode, I didn't show you that. Oh, best laid plans on my cement. Right, maintenance mode, if you don't know where it is, you have to be an admin user to do it. Go to server, maintenance mode, and then just do enable, and you can put a message if you like, so something like that. Okay, now once that's done, we've taken a copy, we moved it to that folder, placed it in there, go to our notifications, and it should just install without any hassle at all. Goes to the plugins check there, like so. If you upgrade it, also this is the place it'll go to. Click on upgrade there, and that'll install it. Goes whiz like so, and press continue, and that's it. That's it installed. As simple, as easy, hopefully as painless and less scary as possible. Okay, so let's hopefully now to use it. Well, I've got to. Let's just yeah. To use it, you go to your course. Here's one already in sort of a topic-based course. When it installs, all it does is adds its list of course formats on edit settings of the course. So there, change from topic formats there to collapse topics, and it appears it wouldn't have been there beforehand. Click on Save Changes, and it will appear. Okay, like so, just like that. Right, I think I need to move to the next slide. So if, oh, wrong one, need to. Oh, crumbs. Thank you, Teresa. I actually saw the little sort of thing pop up on my screen. So I can see you chatting away. You didn't do that. Thank you. Saw your magic word. Right. So let's go back and talk about the next bit. Is it coming up on my screen? Come on. Yeah, so it'll take a little minute to kick in. Okay. So configuration. This is when we're going to go back, but I will. Only added this in a few months ago. Had a lot of questions on the course formats forum. Oh, can we have it so the topic doesn't display? Can we show it so that the toggle word doesn't display? Can we have the topic number not display? Had a lady who asked in March, April time this year, can we have different colors? A couple of people in the past have asked for different colors, and I sort of hard-coded a version for them. But then I thought, well, okay, let's make it. Found a thing called a color picker. Somebody had already pre-canned this. I think Hunt had something to do with it, and someone else. It's all in the README. And added that in recently as well. Okay, and you'll notice I got pointer. What's a pointer? Yes. Okay, so it's sort of different layout and object. color options, and it changes, so you can set different structures, different elements, and you can reset it back to the defaults, which come to next on both there. You'll notice my name is Welsh, so I did actually put in Welsh. That's actually a reference to anybody knows who Red Dwarf, where Rimmer says, "Oh, we surrender absolutely," and sort of broadcast in all known languages, including Welsh. It's not an insult to the Welsh. I'm actually quarter Welsh, hence my name. Okay, so different lot of stuff there, including, and Julian I think has taken hold of this, there is now an English pirate language which you can download it. So you can really sort of enthuse your students and stuff by having everything pirate, and it will, thank you Teresa, it will put it in sort of, you know, if you don't click on this thing you will walk the plank. Little bit, hey matey, thank you, and so forth. A little bit of fun, but that's Moodle, can be, make it interactive. Wonderful gentleman, other people have called Luigi, I'll come on to him later, has produced sort of a French version. Other people have produced it Spanish. Unfortunately, I really apologise to the gentleman, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but it's all in the credits. Okay, do I have a dwarf with you? No, only sort of a few soft toys, and I'm about 5'11". Okay, but I was really quite smart school. Right, okay, next thing. Oh, somebody provided a Russian. So to show you that on the actual format itself, so go back to the demonstration. I'll show you my screen. Take a little minute. Okay, it's only available when we turn the editing on. So I realise sacrilege is sacrilege. I've not taken it out of maintenance mode. Let's quickly do that, because now it's sort of in teacher mode, so forth. Leave that to pop back in. How are we doing for time? Yeah, fine. Okay, so as soon as you're in editing mode, sort of get a nice sort of setting thing pops up. You click on that, and you've got this sort of your varying options. Right, so thank you, Teresa. We've got, so the elements of sort of all bits and bobs. This took a bit of a while to work out how to do. You've got things like no toggle section, no section number, all different combinations of what you can and cannot have. There's a topic function, sorry, layout, which is the default. There's a week. I've stopped developing the collapsed weeks format purely so it sort of cuts my sort of maintenance workload in half, to be honest, and there's a lot of duplication code, and as core develops I have to keep up with that. I also created a new one called latest week first and current topic first. Latest week first was a separate format at one point that I had told it, so I put it in there. So for example, the moment you saw it as topic, we can make it week based, save the changes like so, and it should become weeks. Yeah, and the current week pops open like so. If we were to go back and for example we may do another one and make it latest week first, and maybe change some of the colors. Now we can change the foreground, and we can go really quite gross with the colors. If we want, let's just do something completely random. Save those changes. You can change both at the same time. This might look a bit gross. Works. Okay, the minute latest week first. Now that is latest week, so if we perhaps put this quickly back in time, you'll see what I mean. Now at the moment it is in chronological order, so if we make this back in April, save those changes. Now for the teacher, the educator, you wanted it to be in chronological order like so. Going to do it, and you see the current week pops up and like that. However, with latest week first, when we turn editing off, it will change. It won't show the weeks coming up. It will put the current week at the very top, open it by default, and have the preceding weeks. So as time moves on and progresses, the weeks will automatically, you won't have to do anything at all. Yeah, thank you, Mary. Worked about that. Was a sort of a request from a lady in Holland. Who's actually, as you see, like going that and can change that. And a few other people have mentioned it. It has been mentioned the color picker isn't as brilliant. I might work on that in the future to make it sort of a little bit more prettier. Okay, that's a sort of configuration. Apart from turn editing back on, resetting it. So you panic, oh crumbs, I'm a really gross color, that absolutely horrible. Can I just set it back to the default? Thank you, Dana. Right, so this the color bit, you will need Moodle 2.0 upwards. I did try and work and do the code for Moodle 1.9. It became really tricky with this sort of pop-up with the color picker. That was really a pain, and I'd run out of time. So we can reset these back all the way and save those changes. So you think, oh, panic, really horrible. Just get me to the start. Pops back to the defaults. Okay, let's directly go back to the slides. So close, stop screen sharing, got to pop that up. Okay, apologies, it sort of drops. Go back, thank you. Okay, so next thing. So I might pop back to doing one more bit of Bob. Time-wise, fine. Just take a little bit of grass with tea. Okay, so that's there. Languages, you can see there's a list. I've mentioned that there by default. So if you change your language for Moodle, it reacts to it. My format will display in different languages, and actually I'll show that in a second while we're doing the next slide as well. So default configuration. Am I sharing? Thank you, Teresa. I'm sure I am actually human. Okay, so default configuration. It's there so you can sort of decide what you want. The defaults will apply across all, and this is critical, the courses that use the format. Really important to think that. So if you change this file, everybody that uses Collapse topics on that Moodle installation will be affected. Okay, I've tried to make it as easy as possible. It is a PHP file, so editing a plain editor or an IDE being an integrated development environment that understands PHP files. Okay, I'll quickly show you how to do that and its effect of it. Now we know that the previous course that we just changed has gone back to the defaults. So if we go, I want to swap to my screen. Just popping a little minutes. Now the default file is within the installation folder, so you will have to go to the same place. Get the format, yeah, in top call there. In there, edit the configuration file. Okay, now I've put loads of instructions. Please don't muck around with anything like that. That will break it within a matter of seconds. Okay, so structure, so side, oh no crumbs, I don't want no section number. Just change that value to 3 as you can see listed up there. Okay, we saw the default, well maybe what all my courses by default want to be by week. Okay, so this will only apply to new courses, not existing ones. They will remember their settings in the database. So it sort of saves you the teachers editing and things. So default layout structure, let's make that 2, and you got the RGB codes there for changing your colors. The other thing I'll show you is the cookie consent thing. So in the UK and Europe, you've now got cookie, so my format does use cookie. If you do have that installation and you haven't got a sort of a cookie, it's okay, I know that cookies work thing. You can set that to true. And we'll save that. That's going to have the effect of that. So if we go back to, of course, now if I refresh this page, nothing will happen in this structure because it already knows it's this sort of format, and that's the structure is being saved in the database. The cookie consent adds in this sort of thing saying, yes, I understand that this is a problem, blah, 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 blah. That text for it, that's also being translated. Some of the language files don't have that in there. It defaults back to English. I am English, so therefore converting to other languages. If you are native speaker of another language, please, if you convert the English, I would really appreciate that. Okay, click on that, and it just provides a simple cookie consent form. Say yes, I allow it, and that sort of help explains it. So allow that, like so. Just aware of time. Okay, let's go and create a new course. So if we go to courses, add edit courses, and make a new course, you'll see the effect of those default values being put in place. So let's call make that collapse topics like so. Let's cut that back into April. So save the changes. So exactly the same as creating a new course as before, but now the defaults hopefully will kick in, and we find that when we go to the course, yep, it's in the week like so. So that's, you saw the effect, and it should have removed that no sort of what did I do? No section number. In fact, yeah, if we were to add it, give this week a name, like so. Hopefully that won't have a section number on the right hand side. Yeah, it's got there, but it has got the section number on the left, or yeah, section name of the one within the actual section itself. Okay, right, next little bit. Okay, popping back. Take a little bit longer. Yes, working back. So we're there. So that's sort of a default configuration. Okay, development and challenges. Okay, so a little bit more history about it. What happens at the moment? I use sort of the progressive enhancement. I gradually just do bits and bobs. I don't like getting too confused by too many different streams. I'm still learning how to use Git and all the version control and so forth like that. So I use it. I only like to do one bit at a time. Where's the pointer gone? Let's try that one more time. Aha, working. Okay. Trial and error. Like all software, it will, I get nervous if my code works first time, and I've been coding for something like 14, 15 years on and off. Get sort of really tricky and hesitant to work first time. That never happened. And then you look into it, and then you realise, no, there is actually a bug, so you've got to do something. So you've got, yeah, exactly, lead co-nurture. It's sort of, it's my baby. I'm making it growing up. It belongs to me, but it's sort of lovely in there. Okay. When things go wrong, I use Firebug in Firefox. Can't show that here, but if you don't know what it is, I will actually, no, I will put a link on the course on on iMoot. Okay, started using sort of PHP statements and print ones are an alert for JavaScript to find out all sort of debugging, because I tried integrating a debug, it didn't quite work. Actually, Tim Hunt told me about a thing called print objects, or rather, sorry, print under or object to find things out. And that helps just sort of to make things happen. And these sort of things you can do with your own, if you do it, even to sort of develop themes, anything like that. Firebug is absolutely brilliant for working out what's going on. It's great for looking at CSS. It's great for changing CSS, and even developing your themes and whole right. Xdebug. I think I actually had a muck around with that now, Dad. But never quite got it to work. Maybe I've sort of got a little patience, but I get a bit more time. I really hope I've said your name correctly. Challenges. The hardest thing I find about keeping pace with the core development. Moodle HQ go like the clappers. Changes. And because my code relies on it, and I think, oh no, this function's gone, this function's got depreciated, it hasn't quite worked. Crumbs, it's moved. 2.3 is a completely different ball game. It's causing a bit of major headaches, isn't it? But it's headaches for the right reasons. It's going in the right direction. I spend a lot of my time on forums doing maintenance support, asking questions, say, will it do this, will it not do that? Some people says, oh, will it do this? Yes, it will. And I'll say, well, maybe it won't, or it will do this, but it's going to take, well, some people will say a one-line sentence. I think, oh, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 days coding. So put support in there. And another challenge of adding in new features. That takes time. The cookie code that you saw, that simple form, and turning cookies on and off took me about 4 days worth of research and coding and trial and error to get it right, and doing the logo and everything. So even though it looks simple from the GUI point of view, from the users at the other end, I'm sure software developers will appreciate that. Crumbs, that is really actually quite tricky. The color picker took me another couple of days as well. There's nothing, not including the research, to do a bit of trial and error to make it work. Okay, hence, so I also put from the Geek and Poke. You got the brilliant link there. You can go back to that later on. Okay, where are we up to? Time-wise, fine. Where to find help? This is not necessarily all for my format, but for in general. I've put a substantial amount of information into the README file. There's an FAQ on there. I'm gradually evolving it, developing. I've got a full history in there. You can see it also includes known bugs, what I'd like to do for the future. So that's the first place you need to go. Second place, I tend to, well, lurk is the wrong word. I look at the course formats format on Moodle an awful lot. See what goes often. Taught us, thank you, Lee. It saves the Git problem on the command line, because why have a GUI, why type in the command line when you've got a GUI, even though it's useful to use. So course format, a lot of information on there. I do a lot of posts. Sometimes I'll react within an hour. If I've gone out, it'll take a bit longer. In terms of if you're doing your own stuff, the developer format, really brilliant, some absolutely smashing people on there. I couldn't have done what I've done without the help that I've received on there, and I've credited people on and so forth. Really useful, we're stuck. Even take the view of, even if you've got a silly question, still ask it. They also recommended books, Moodle books on PHP and JavaScript. This is purely in general. There's a one called PHP in Action. I haven't got it to hand, actually, it's upstairs. Worth looking. Yeah, PHP in Action. See, you can see it there. Good list of books. And I also get .NET Magazine to give me new ideas, inspiration, try things out. Useful. PHP in Action, I think it was actually recommended by one of the people on Developer Forum, as I say, has a lot of ideas. It's really quite technical. It's not designed at people doing PHP from the basics, but it covers object orientation in PHP, even though some people might argue it's a sort of a scripting language and not a proper third generation language. Okay, time, yeah, I'm just looking at my clock. Okay, there. The future, where sort of things go. I'm making improvements all the time. I'm always open to ideas. I'm also open to people saying, "Oh, I'll pay you there to add this in." One gentleman last year added in sort of colours for him. So I will make improvements that are purely, I sort of develop it in my free time. While at the moment I'm unemployed, but I'm job hunting, but sort of full-time software, but I do it of my own sort of will and as a side for nothing. So I will try and add things in there to the good research. I think that'll take half a day or something or less. But each release does take a while to put it onto GitHub and to put it all on the plugins database, even though that's really nice and that's a good thing. Okay, individual course layouts. You think, oh well, I've got that already. I'm actually now thinking I installed WordPress the other day, and I thought, well, what if in general Moodle, with Moodle itself and formats, because course formats and themes are sort of merging, blurring with WordPress, you can change the whole layout. So what if you say, oh right, log in, because each course is different. You click on it and says, right, I want this layout, I want that layout for that course, but the entire page to change. Just thoughts and different things that are going on. And also, at the moment, I've got, within my format, I've got 4 different structures. If there's anything you think, oh, would be nice, please just send it to me. I'll say yay, nay, or something. PHP cookbook, good, still old. Yeah, thank you, Troy. I might actually have a look at that. But got, I'll have a look back at the chat later and have a find. If you've got a link to it on a site, that will be useful, please. Moodle 2.3 has changed radically. The bit I'm about to show you in a minute with making your own course format will sort of semi-apply, but they've changed to the same thing within themes that I think I chatted to Mary a little bit the other day about this, using renderers. That's totally different. I'm yet to work it out. I've got to change my format. The Ajax doesn't work yet with my format with the 2.3 version. I've really got to work on that. I think the 18th of June Moodle 3.3 comes out. I may or not get it working up properly for that. Huge changes, but they're going down really much the callback object orientated route to make things happen. Moodle 9.1.9, I've sort of really not given up is the wrong word, reduced it maybe down to just bug fixes, just like it was actually the core Moodle itself at the moment, hence also the colour picker not being in it. Also form and function, all open to new ideas. Is this the right form, function, sort of, is it right way of doing it? Is too many clicks, the GUI, graphical user interface, changes, aesthetics, ergonomics, that sort of thing. Okay. Make your own course format. Okay, so this is where it's getting a little bit complicated. Right, so summarize. Okay, you want to choose a name for your course format that does not already exist. The way to do this is look in the course formats format, look on the Moodle downloads, look on GitHub. I think for course formats, so everything's sort of Moodle underscore. I realise I'm not quite explaining this correctly or right, but there is ways or just ask, look on the list and stuff like that, or think of a really, really strange name. I will put a link to my format on GitHub. I know I've got it on there. But look, you can look on GitHub. You can just even Google it, sort of format underscore blah, your name. Sorry, Lee, yeah, too much information. Yeah. All right, okay. Are you okay? Right, okay. You phased me out there for a minute. Okay, right, back. So, okay, work out the thing from Frankenstein. There's a link there. All the plugins, everything, and so forth have a thing called the Frankenstein. Brilliant page on Moodle Rocks there. It explains it. Best thing to do is start off by copying from a standard format. Really straightforward. Change it to the name that you worked out. Make your changes. Give it a test, try it out. Please, please, please develop on a test Moodle, not with really live users. Okay, we're doing for time, so I think I've got until about 10 o'clock, so we know we started late, so hopefully I'll quickly do it if we run out of time because I've got some polls and stuff and Q&A to do. Okay, give it back to the community. Moodle is all about giving. So please give it back, even whatever you think of it, to the try, because they might incorporate, oh, I won't use it, but it's got really good ideas, I'll use that somewhere else. Okay, so quickly, demonstration of creating it. Now, right, wrong screen, come on. Okay, now the aim here, and I've done some really nasty CSS hacks, is to convert the existing topic format into something that looks like this. So for iMoot topics format. Okay, and what I've done, I've got some pre-canned CSS and bits and bobs like that. Okay, to have like a iMoot in the section there, section number and a 0, blah blah blah, like so. Okay, share my screen. Okay, desktop. Let's go through this. If it's too fast, as I said earlier, there's a link in the database. I think there was a link you got on the screen that takes you to the YouTube. If not, put it on the forums or something. I will answer the question. Okay, so this is where I'm gonna think. Okay, there. I'm gonna go to documents. Right. Is it there? Right, I've put a to-do list, which sort of explains how to do that. Is available on the database. It gives a load of instructions. I posted something on one of the forums, and sort of an addition to all of that. Okay, That's that, and I just want my starting file. Yeah, there. So I've got to. That's not going to work. Extract all of that up. Access denial. The best laid plans of mice and men. So let's take it from there. Copy that. Copy. Okay. That was just my sort of starting point. Thing to note here that the name of the directory must be 10 characters or less. Really, really important. Okay, in here I've got some pre-canned thank you. Some pre-canned styles and sort of a format that I sort of tinker with, but everything else, apart from the images and so forth, I think not the version, is a direct copy of the topics format, as you can see there, and nothing else has changed. Okay, so the first thing to do, we've gone in, we've renamed the folder, like so. I'll put in some font thing. That's just another thing that I added in, but that's to make this particular format work. Right, so we go follow the list. Hopefully, so I've done that, changed the rename folder, 10 characters left, put that there. First thing to do, edit lib.php and change something. So if we go into lib.php, go with the text editor. So you can see this is the topics thing, so we're going to change that to iMoot topics. Did I make it iMoot or iMoot? Let's do that. So yeah, from there to there to change all the relevance to topics that are to iMoot topics. Right, let's go back. So that's going to go there. So iMoot. And again, I'll do this slowly. You could have used a search and replace, but this turning oath. Like so. Save that. Next thing on the list, right, change the navigation to that. So this is all things that for trial and error found out how to do this. iMoot, and I think the next one is, so that was that line, wrong line. Right, line 57, so I need that one. This is changing to use our language file rather than the default one within Moodle itself for the get string. So line 57. I appreciate this might be a little bit complicated. So I'll change that to there. Control V, save that. Okay, line 67 is roughly, but you practice it, it will come second nature to iMoot, like so. And there, line 75, just changing that to use our particular language file. So that is line 75. So this is one of the nasty little bits. There, and again there. This is just sort of doing the section number. Please don't be scared. That then language file. Now it picks up with what you saw there, format iMoot topics there. I'm going to change that in there. So we're going to go to our new folder, go to the language, English, and rename to that, like so. So it picks up our one. Okay, then we can change things within that file itself to whatever's appropriate. Okay, thank you. Whoops, let's do. Oh, no, lost myself a second. Right, yeah, editing that. So now we've got section name, plugin name, blah blah blah, so forth. So we can change the section name to iMoot topic, and change this. Now this plugin name, that's what you see, and that's what actually populates the drop-down box of the course settings when you edit a course. Okay, section there. So in the iMoot topics, in the iMoot topics and page view, this is all to do with blocks. iMoot topics, iMoot. So save that. Next step. Okay. Yeah, change that in version. Now there's a version.php. This is where when you're installing the sort of gets information from that notifications page I showed you earlier. So we got to edit that. Now I go back to our folder. So go all the way up there, go on to version, edit that. There, we've got to give it a date. So today is 2012. It is May. It is the 26th, and there's XX there. Okay, so save that. I'm going to change this to the same Frankenstein name. Right, so like that. Okay, one thing we can add in, or two extra bits, we can tell about the maturity, so you can give a hint to people of, oh, this is in beta, this is released and stuff. If you Google this, or I'll put a, actually I will put a, oh, thank you, Teresa. Yeah, it's the 27th. So you can put on whatever date you are. Thank you. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, the time. Yeah, the 20. Still just about 26th in the UK. So copy that. Thank you. Brilliant. Wow, it's truly global. This is what I love about iMoot. So put that in there. Gives an idea. So because it's sort of a test thing, gives another people an idea. We've got to change that, and also useful to give human readable release version insert like that. So if we click on like so, okay, that's that little bit. Okay, now we actually need to make the changes. So let's go to there. I'm going to edit. This is just my pre-canned file. I'm going to come back to that in a second. Now the main code is within 4HP. Sorry, excuse me, format.php. In Moodle 2.3, that'll be renderers. I will probably do like a little screencast demo of how to do that when I work out actually how to do it. Okay, for the purpose of this, don't worry about this little bit. This is just me putting in a bit of CSS to make the format as it is. You saw, as in fact, as you can see on the top right on the right of the screen, of what it's going to look like. Okay. But the key thing is now you can muck around the code. So here you've got, this is the standard topic format, and had it with like iMoot topics, so the section number and so forth like that. So we're going to delete a bit of code. So that's on the left side there, left side, right side, no, that's section 0. So we want the loop that does all the different sections. So section 0 is slightly different. So we're going to go down to, just going to find the right code. Yeah, here we are. Section there, section there, left side. Yeah, there. Right, that is the variable and stuff that puts in the section number. So to make it look like the one that we've got on the screenshot, I'm going to put iMoot there, like so. And to put in a preceding 0 if it's less than 10, I'm going to change it. So if we put that in there, do the bog standard. Now section is a sort of integer type variable within PHP. If I click on that, that should pop up there. It's being within the loop. So sections like so. Then three brackets, we're going to echo a 0, and this echo puts it out to the web browser. So all this is echoing the sort of bits of HTML in essence as it's running the script. Put that in there. Put the closing wiggly bracket in there, delete that echo, like so. Now, hopefully, that is all I need to do for a little minute, and that should work. So, as things. So, next thing, test. So, go back to course demo, go back to notifications, and this is where that version.php file comes in. Hopefully, touch wood. Yes, bingo. So it's got the thing for the language file, that plugin. You notice what it is. It's got the date that I put in, 26th or 27th. Click on upgrade. Now this will do the database. There is no database code. That's a damn sort of really complicated and so forth. Don't need to worry about that. So that's installed it. Or rather, I mean, you can look at my format and look at the database and go, oh! But if you feel brave, have a muck around with it as well. Okay, right to there. Right, so now you should be able to go to the list of courses and change it. So, okay, box done. So we've done all those changes. We go to edit settings, and with any luck, touching my desk of wood, change that there. We've got our iMoot topics listed. Thank you. Right, save that. And hopefully when Mary looks at my CSS, she'll panic because I've literally manipulated the whole theme. Bingo. And I've even used a little bit of font. This file, the final version, if you want to look at it, is available for download in the I think the links on the slides. The links are on the database. This is for Moodle 2.2. It may work with Moodle 2.1 or 2.0. What you will have to do is go to just the version file here and downgrade that version requires thing there to the version which is in the version.php in your sort of your core main Moodle installation, and that in our case down here is sort of that file there. Okay, to wrap things up. Right, so we've got it all to there. Right, yeah, and it would have hopefully have done that previous bit. I'll just apologise, I've jumped ahead of myself. I'll reshare my screen just quickly because it was critical to show you. Wrong one. There, you see, there's the effect of the 0. So 10 doesn't have a preceding 0. There's a minus sign. So there's that code working. And also the beauty of copying the topics format is that things like Ajax and other bits and bobs will all work and it will lay itself out like so. And if I got that wrong and changed something within format, you see it actually moves. So if we want to take out that minus sign, oh no, we want to do ... Put that in, save the code, go back to our format, refresh the page, and we should see instant change there. ... That's happened like that. Bingo. Right. Bit of interactivity from yourselves. So back to there. And thank you, Teresa. Pops up, running a little bit slow, still going strong. Good. Now, feedback. I'm going to do a bit of polls, Q&A, and thank you for attending and participating, and so sort of information there. I'll leave that on the screen there. If you don't understand Ajax, please look at this sort of cartoon with and without Ajax there. Okay, right, some polls for a bit of interactivity from yourself, because I really love some feedback from you. Thank you. So we'll go to there. Now you should see on the top left hand corner some polls. So if you kindly say, do you think collapsed topics actually solves the scroll of death? Partly yes, no, brilliant. So I'll give you what you saw the results coming in. I don't think any of you can see the other polls yet. We've got 11 people in the room, 6 there. Oh, Don, I've put a link in the database to all my slides in both PDF, PowerPoint, and LibreOffice. That you find all in the database. So the course, I apologize for the course that. Thank you. Yeah, hopefully bingo. Right, I do open that one. Do you think it's easy to install and configure? Let you know that. Yeah, done. All in the format. I put all the links on there. Yes, they could try indeed. That's more pedagogy to add in. This is sort of a question of how you run it. I was an e-learning coordinator for my school. I think that you answered that one or broke across the results on that. Please Yes, no. Happens, yes. Managing teachers is like trying to herd cats. Okay, let me answer that one. Module ease, collapse topics easy to use. Have a go at that as well, just bearing in mind. Right, sorry, Simon, but hopefully there should be an idea and something later on, and you'll be able to say a few things. Okay, too, yeah. Thank you for the people who said it's simple. To turn simple just right. Okay. Yeah, I've tried to make it simple. That is actually a really deliberate action. I didn't want it to get complicated. I didn't want it to get out of hand. I wanted it easy to use. I wanted it for people who aren't ICT teachers to use it without actually faffing. The last thing you want to do is to walk into a classroom and go with the technology. You're concentrating on the students and behavioural management. Okay, languages. Yes, no. I really appreciate if it's not in language, if you can copy the English one, make it in your version. Oh, crumbs, I didn't show that, but there's just on the drop down for language files. I'm sure we're familiar with that, with the standard Moodle languages. If it's not, please, 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 if you'd be so kind to do that, or even drop me a message on the forum that says, oh no, I'd love it in this language. I will provide the file. I will admit I won't be able to convert all of the words, but at least we're there for you to edit, and you could like send me back. Oh, thank you, Mary. Yeah, I think I got the Italian, but it's not all converted. That'd be brilliant. PTBR is there. It's not all converted, and I would appreciate it. All you do, edit the file, put it back on the forum, or use one of the email it to me, and I will put it in the next release. Thank you. Right, and your thoughts. I would like to see. Oh, that's not as big. Improvements. What would you like? And hopefully, I'm not sure if you can type in this ideas box on the right hand side or not. If more layouts, please drop me a bell, drop me a note of, oh, I'd like this one. Course for integrated thing was sort of a thing of that is a more, I think, something to give an idea to Moodle HQ of, oh, this is how Moodle should be going in a sort of WordPress layout type forum direction. Just looking at the time, I think we're okay. Is anybody able to type in the ideas box? Yay, nay. So multi-column layout. Multi-column layout I'll work out probably 2.3 because I'm going to go away from tables for laying things out, which are meant to be evil against the HTML standard, but it's still, I think it's like a cat's cradle wireframe thing, but that's different sort of ideas. So I'll have a bash at that. Thank you. Doesn't like to type in the idea box. Right, okay. What I can do. Okay, hopefully, guys and girls, on the next screen, there should be something. I'll fix that for the next presentation. Hopefully, right, in questionnaire answers. Thank you. I'll review this and sort of make notes later on. All right, I've got a Q&A one now. Hopefully, in the improvements, there should be like a whiteboard, and you should be able to click in here and type. You should be able to put something in the Q&A box and ask questions. Tell you what, if the idea is not working, if none of this actually works, if you put it in the, it is a note pod, Teresa. Thank you. Could you put your ideas in the chat, and that'd be just as brilliant. That'd be really, really good. I'll change it, and then that will sort of help solve the problem. Okay, and also on the improvements, you should be able to. Is this a yeah. Okay. There, and put the feedback in chat and see if you can draw improvements. Thank you. I can see it. I wonder if I click on participant view, did that make a difference? Oh, click on that. Assign to. so. Does that work? Aha, has that made a difference, guys? Aha, bingo. So it looks like you type a question, I sign it, I'll answer it, and then everyone else then can see it. Thank you, everyone. If not, just put them in the chat window. I can answer the questions there. Thank you, Teresa. Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Paula. Thanks, Mary. Yes, I have. The maintenance is the hard work on it. Developing took me, actually 50% of the time it was making it work. The other 50% of the time was making it work with Internet Explorer. Thank you, Dana. I wish I could. Oh, the holy grail. If only IE would die. Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Troy.
I'll just jump in at Shane here. I was just going to jump in and say thank you, Gareth, for presenting all that and generating a lot of conversation there. So it was great just to sit in the background and listen to it all happen. So thank you for taking the time out to share that with us.
Not at all. Pleasure. Right, I'll just hang around. I'll be here until sort of 10 o'clock. Thank you, Troy. I mean, I hope it wasn't